Real Madrid. We've gone through your sources, looking at match reports, squad updates, everything, trying to get a clear picture. Yeah, recent form, their Club World Cup campaign so far, key player news, the whole deal. The aim is to give you those, key insights, the surprising bits, without getting bogged down.
Exactly. And we're not just looking at scores here. We want to connect the dots, right? Understand why things are happening, what it means for their tactics, their mentality.
Yeah.
Their whole direction, really.
Yes, absolutely. It's a pivotal time for them.
It really is. Understanding the why is crucial.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the recent run. Their last 5 games across La Liga in Europe. It paints a picture of, well, pretty strong form mostly. 3 wins, 1 draw, and just that 1 loss. So digging into the details a bit. May 4th, they had that home win, 3-2 against Celta Vigo. Then May 11th, that was the big one, the away loss, 3-4 against Barcelona, always a major fixture.
A tough result, that one.
Definitely. But we bounced back, didn't they? May 14th, a 2-1 home win against Mallorca, followed by another win on the road, 2-0 against Sevilla on May 18th, and then, most recently, jumping to the Club World Cup, June 18th, a 1-1 draw with Al-Hilal.
Right, so you look at that pattern, win, win, win. Then the loss, then the draw. Or wait, was it WWLD? Let me check.
You're right. My mistake. It was win versus Celta, loss versus Barca, win versus Mallorca, win versus Sevilla, then the draw versus Al-Hilal. So WLWWD, still mostly positive.
Okay, right. Win-loss, win-win draw. Yeah, that Barcelona loss, it obviously stings. But look how they responded. 2 straight wins after that. That tells you something, doesn't it? It shows they aren't easily shaken. They can take a hit, regroup quickly, recalibrate tactically. That shows strong leadership.
Good point. Getting that rhythm back instantly.
Exactly. It's resilience, yes, but it's also about absorbing a big blow and just refocusing. Crucial when you're heading into something like the Club World Cup.
Yeah, that recent form definitely set the stage. So how did they actually start that Club World Cup campaign? Match day 1, right? That was the 1-1 draw against Al-Hilal we just mentioned. And the big detail there, kind of interesting, was it marked Xabi Alonso's debut as coach for Real Madrid in that competition.
A new era starting, in a way.
Yeah. And young Gonzalo Garcia got the goal for them, but Al-Hilal pulled level, didn't they?
Yeah, a penalty, an early foul in the box, costing the clean sheet.
Okay, and before we get to match day 2, there was some important squad news around that first game, too.
Oh, right, the player updates.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, he actually made his real debut in that Al-Hilal match, a big moment for him and the fans.
I only wanted to watch.
But the maybe more surprising news was about Kylian Mbappé. He was actually hospitalized.
Yeah, gastroenteritis, apparently. Really unfortunate timing meant he missed that opener completely.
Wow, okay. So, with Trent debuting and Mbappé out, that leads us into match day 2. This is where it gets interesting. They faced Pachuca, this was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they got the win, 3-1.
A solid result on paper.
But the story of the match was really the start. Drama, almost immediately. Raul Asensio got a red card just 6 minutes in.
6 minutes, wow. That changes everything.
Exactly. Forced them to play pretty much the whole game with 10 men.
Incredible. And they still won 3-1.
They did. Despite being a man down, they found the net 3 times. Jude Bellingham scored around the 35th minute.
Always seems to pop up, doesn't he?
He does. Then Arda Güler added another before halftime, 43rd minute, and Federico Valverde sealed it in the 70th. So, yeah, an impressive win under the circumstances, put them top of Group H with 4 points.
Look, winning any match down a player for that long, like 84-plus minutes, is impressive.
Right.
Winning 3-1, that's more than just character.
What does it show you, tactically?
It highlights exceptional tactical discipline, how they must have shifted, become really compact defensively, but without just sitting back. They still had to find ways to transition, to pose a threat. Think about Bellingham, maybe dropping deeper, doing more defensive work. It's not just about having depth on the bench.
Right. It's about the players on the pitch adapting.
Exactly. It shows they really understand the system, how to cover for each other, minimizing that disadvantage. It's a massive collective effort. Really speaks volumes.
Definitely a statement win. But there was also a serious incident reported from that match day 2 game, wasn't there?
Yes, unfortunately. Antonio Rüdiger reported receiving a racist insult from an opponent during the match.
Awful. How was that handled?
Well, the key thing is the response. FIFA protocol was triggered straight away after Rüdiger reported it. And Coach Alonso came out publicly, supported Rüdiger very strongly, and reiterated the club's zero-tolerance stance on racism.
Good to hear.
It highlights this ongoing fight against racism in football. It really underlines how important it is for clubs, for governing bodies, to not just condemn it, but to act decisively when it happens.
Yeah, you need that unified, strong front.
Absolutely. No room for it.
A really important point. Okay, shifting back to the players on the pitch, or potentially on the pitch. How are things looking health-wise? Let's start with Jude Bellingham. We mentioned him scoring, but he's managing that shoulder injury, right? Reports suggest he's planning surgery, but only after the tournament.
Yeah, that's the word.
So what does that mean, playing through an injury like that, especially for such a key player?
Well, it immediately brings up questions about managing his workload, doesn't it? And the risk involved. He's clearly able to perform, but the coaching staff, the medical team, they'll be watching him like hawks. It's a really delicate balance.
Trying to get the most out of him now without compromising him long term?
Precisely. You might see tactical adjustments, maybe careful substitutions, just to mitigate any further damage. It's something teams often have to juggle with star players. But on the flip side, what's a huge boost for them is getting key defenders back. Carvajal, Rüdiger himself, Militão, they've all been out long-term.
That's massive for their stability at the back.
Absolutely. Their gradual return, getting them integrated back into the squad, it provides that crucial defensive solidity. Plus, it allows for rotation, which is vital as you head deeper into a demanding tournament.
Gives Alonso more options. And speaking of options, what's the latest on Mbappé? We mentioned the hospitalization.
Right. Well, the good news is he's out of the hospital. He's expected back in training once he's fully recovered from the gastroenteritis.
But his actual return to matches is still up in the air.
Yeah, seems uncertain for the immediate future. And look, if you think about the impact, having a forward like Mbappé potentially out, even short term, it changes things offensively.
Definitely. Others have to step up.
Exactly. The attacking strategy might need tweaking. But then you balance that against having those experienced defenders returning, shoring up the back line. It's this constant complex equation for the coaching staff. Performance now versus player fitness versus squad depth. It's a juggling act.
Always is at this level. So, looking ahead then, what's next for Real Madrid in the group stage? They've got RB Salzburg next in their final Group H match.
Right. And this isn't just, another group game to get through. It's pivotal, really pivotal.
Why is that?
Because this match could easily decide the final group standings.
Yeah.
And maybe more importantly, the seeding for the knockout rounds.
Ah, right. A better seed could mean a more favorable draw later on.
Exactly. It can significantly affect their path through the rest of the tournament. So you can bet they'll be taking this one very, very seriously. Expect a focused performance.
Makes sense. Okay, so let's just quickly wrap up the key takeaways from this deep dive on Real Madrid. We've seen strong recent form overall, despite that 1 loss, 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in the last 5 competitive games before the draw.
Yeah, showing resilience.
Their Club World Cup started with that 1-1 draw against Al-Hilal, notable as Alonso's debut. Then came that really impressive 3-1 win over Pachuca.
Achieved with 10 men for almost the entire match. Massive statement.
Absolutely. We also touched on the key squad updates. Bellingham managing his shoulder, planning post-tournament surgery, the very welcome return of defenders like Carvajal, Rüdiger, and Militão,
which provides crucial depth and solidity.
And the uncertainty around Mbappe's return after his illness, plus, importantly, the racist incident involving Rüdiger and the firm response from the club and coach.
Yeah, putting it all together, you see a team that's not just in a strong spot in Group H, currently leading it, but they seem to be building real momentum. They're showing that resilience we talked about, tactical flexibility, depth, and importantly, a strong stance supporting their players off the pitch, too.
So considering everything we've discussed, the on-field challenges like playing shorthanded, the off-field issues like the Rüdiger incident, managing injuries like Bellingham's, celebrating returns like the defenders, it makes you think. What do you, listening now, think is the single most critical factor for Real Madrid if they're going to succeed in the upcoming knockout stages of this Club World Cup? Something to ponder.